G'day F1 fans, I think we're live. As long as all the technical things are set up right, we should be good to go. Austria, race time. Who is going to win? All right, just make sure everything's up. Got about 20 minutes before the green light. So, I haven't been able to catch up much on the pre-show on F1 TV yet. I see Brundle Jr. is doing his grid walk at the moment. I don't think there's any big news regarding anyone starting from pit lane or anything along those, issues where they have to start from pit lane or take a penalty. So, I think we're okay. Just how prediction is Antonelli or Russell? Yeah, it's pretty hard to go past Mercedes. That they had so much pace. And if we look at what happened yesterday, even though it was very controversial, Russell was up apparently by almost half a second on those Ferraris. And still with the lift ended up, a quarter of a second? But I don't think it's going to be that straightforward. They'll be hard to beat, but I don't think it'll be that straightforward. Okay, just move that. It is really hard to pick. Because even when you think with with Mercedes, they still have reliability issues, right? There's been plenty of race weekends where they've looked good and then there's been an issue with the car. So I still think we probably will see some reliability gremlins for some teams, no doubt. And turn one here at race start tends to bring a bit of action, a bit of carnage. So may see a bit of that as well. I think for Kimi Antonelli today, starting from P4, he just needs to be far more patient, or at least be patient. Don't try and make up too many places at turn one. I guess what I'm trying to say is don't make a repeat of last year where he basically came in like a wrecking ball. He just needs to be a bit patient. It's a bit more damage limitation, because the key is he could get it wrong at turn one, ruin his race, give up another 25 points in the championship. That's not what he wants to do. So even if he can't win the race, it's purely just trying to, I think, look, he's got the pace. The car could easily get up to P2. So yeah, Red Bull, I would say definitely dark horse for today. Max, he had some pretty decent pace yesterday. He believed he was on for P3 in qualifying if he hooked up sector 3 in the end. But it was pretty tight. So it's really going to come down to tire deg and good strategy as well. Because the thing is, this track is a bit hard to, I would say, pace yourself around when you're out front, because it is quite easy to get past on these big straights, right? So yeah, it will be very interesting to see how the lead car, after the first couple of laps, sort of paces out the field, or whether they sort of go a bit more full attack mode and just sort of go for it. It's definitely going to be a 2-stop race, minimum. Yeah, hopefully the car wouldn't be shit today. That's it. Let's see. Should be getting the telemetry details up soon. I'm interested to see what the track temp is. Look, it's going to be basically what we saw yesterday, no doubt. It looks hot on the grid. I don't think there's many clouds in the sky either, so Most likely another 50 deg track day. Okay, so it's telling me live timing is available. Where is the live timing, sir? Oh, we're doing a flyover now. Looks pretty cool. Quite an old plane. I can't tell you what type of plane it is, but it's definitely something from quite a way back. All right, let me find this telemetry. Live timing is available. I click on it and it doesn't give me the option to bring it up. Is it down here? No, it isn't. Dashboard. Here we go, live timing. Okay, so loading that up. I don't think we have any data as yet though. Just gotta wait for it to sync. Hopefully the car hadn't been failing. I'll just put that over there. Yeah, well, I think most teams have been, they've had their odd run-ins with reliability issues. I'd say Ferrari is the most bulletproof of the lot. Charles did have, I think, a hydraulic issue out in Barcelona, but realistically, from the power unit side, they've been so good. And Mercedes has definitely had quite a few problems, and then that has also led into problems with some of their customer teams as well. So that's Williams. Williams have had a few problems. Alpine have probably been pretty decent running the Merc. I don't think they've had too many. Oh, we do. Do we have something? We do. All right, so it's given me a reading. I'll switch over in a sec. It's given me a reading of 46.6 degrees. Track temp, air temperature's a bit hotter than yesterday, 34.6. So maybe there's a few clouds in the sky, so maybe that's just helping with the direct sunlight. So start will be interesting. Like I mentioned, turn one is always very hectic here. I think when you are a driver here, I'll bring it up. I'll get up the track map. Track map. Okay, put that on the other monitor. All right, let's see if all this stuff lines up. All right, continues to live timing, quality watch along, that's the one we like. Yeah, so turn one, very important. Naturally, you're probably going to try and cover some cars trying to come up behind you, make an inside pass or around the outside. The issue is if you compromise your exit at turn one, you're going to get gobbled up down at turn three. And that is one of the big issues you have here starting, on the front row. If you could say if George and Charles fight too hard, they compromise their exit on turn one, well, it leaves a nice long toe down to turn three, and likewise even into turn four. So it's not always the easiest to defend because you're going straight into that long back straight into turn three. Where you were, thunderstorm, like 3 p.m. to 4:30. Yeah. I saw. I think France were getting a few storms through the night. I thought I saw. Yeah, when I used to live in Australia, yeah, it used to be really nice in summer. It was very common you'd get like hot weather, sort of like in summertime in Brisbane, 32, 33 degrees, a bit of humidity, and then normally the storm would always roll through at around 3 o'clock. And quite often it would just really cool the afternoon down into night, which was always really nice. All right, so let's have a look. Anything interesting on document spot? Nothing there. Nothing too interesting. What is going on in... I still call it the Twitter sphere. It's hard to call X... Sorry, it's hard to call... Yeah, X. So used to Twitter. Lando Norris asked by Sky Sports if they have sorted out his brake issue. Not really, but that's life. Oh, well, that is the truth, isn't it? That is the truth. That is life. So we've got just over 8 minutes until the session starts. We'll get through a little bit of, see if any interesting stuff has popped up. Here we go, some Zach Brown news regarding Max Verstappen. Could he find a home at McLaren? I'd be very surprised if Lando or Oscar went elsewhere. They're very happy with contracts, but even contracts aside, we're very happy with them. If for some strange reason someone slipped on a banana peel getting out of the tub, then yeah, of course, Max is a 4-time world champion. All right, Zach. We shall see. Time will tell on that one. Just how constant lightning and 12 tree branches hit the ceiling. Sound like it was a pretty violent one, huh? Pretty violent storm. I'm a massive fan of thunderstorms, eh? I love the lightning and the noise and everything. But yeah, obviously there's a point where you don't want it to be like too dangerous, where it causes too much damage. No doubt about that. Actually, let's see who... I didn't get to see the Formula 2 race. Okay, there you go. Nicholas Solov, the man of the moment, regarding the rumour of the V-carb seat. He got the win in the feature race. So we know he's a Red Bull back driver. He's essentially the next kid off the block, the Bulgarian. So he is putting himself in the frame. Even though Kim Elman did suggest that the rumours or the news that came out regarding the so-called guarantee seat at VCARB, he went to both parties. Solov's side, he went to Red Bull side, or VCARB side, and there's apparently no truth in that. But Solov, that's what he's got to do, right? Win races, not necessarily win the championship, but be a competitor, be competitive. So it is a name to look forward to the future. Most likely, I think if he has a good season and the Racing Bulls boys continue having a good season, then Solov is most likely going to become an official reserve driver for either Red Bull or VCARB. Yuki Tsunoda and Iwasa, I'm sure, will be moving on. Laurens van Hoopen, of course, Dutch driver. That's clearly who you're happy about. Got P8. Herta is a guy I've been watching a little bit just to sort of see how he goes. I'd say he's probably, he's had a couple of okay performances, but he has admitted that he's still getting to terms with the car, but he needs to definitely speed up that process because there's naturally, the assumption is he is the American guy to slot into Cadillac. All right, I'm going to flip back over to timing screen because, well, we're not too far away from go time. There's a little message down here. Risk of rain, 10%. I tell you, a little sprinkle of a little sprinkle of rain would definitely pique the interest in the race. Okay, when was this? Was this today? Incident involving Oscar Piastri noted, failing to follow race director's instructions, maximum delta. I don't think anything will come to that. After the race, failing to practice start infringement. That was, okay, earlier today. All right, I don't think there's really anything big coming along. Okay. I better bring up my stream, right? So I can actually watch the race. I think that'll help. Okay, F1 Live. Okay, going through the starting grid. Here we go. Always on top. All right, anyone got any bold predictions? Any driver on the grid that is going to surprise you? Not necessarily win the race, but maybe grab a P10 or get inside the top 10? Anyone want to bet on a Aston Martin or a Cadillac car? (48 degrees track temp, 118 degrees Fahrenheit for the Americans. Four people are going to crash. Sainz will get a P9, yeah? Leclerc a last lap. Come on, don't jinx poor old Charlie boy. Yeah, I'm a bit worried about turn one, to be honest, on lap one. The other big issue with turn 1 too is those big sausage curbs on the outside. So if you do get forced wide at the start or miss your braking point, you can do quite a bit of damage to the underfloor of the car or a bit of front wing damage. So yeah, it's quite brutal. But yeah, big fan of Austria, like the circuit here, Red Bull Ring. It's a good track. Generally get good races here, and I think today will be exactly the same. Another banger. All right, Russell is off, leading the cars out. So chat, are we happy with George Russell's pole? Were the Ferraris robbed? Was the FIA playing mafia? Yeah, well, that's it. Happened once, can happen again. What do they say? History doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. So maybe we see something like that again today. As long as Kimi Antonelli doesn't repeat what he did at Austria last year, then that's all good. I'm a little bit worried about Kimi. I just don't want him to, feel like he has to get the moves done on turn one. He's got the whole race, plenty of strategy will play a part. The car's quick. He just needs to be patient. He doesn't need to get in front of these Ferraris straight away. Honestly, I find them robbed. You mean the Ferraris were robbed because of the yellow flag incident? You feel Russell shouldn't have got pole? Yeah, huge audience, mate. It's always a bit of a tricky one. It's like I think a lot of people do sometimes jump on maybe looking for like an illegal stream. All right, cars are starting to grid up. All right, as far as tyres, most cars look like they're on the mediums. It looks like Bortoletto and Carlos are the only two on softs. Now they're saying the medium, I think the window or the pit window is around lap 18. Okay, it looks like Stroll is bringing up the rear. Okay, here we go. This always worries me. All right, good start. Russell's got a really good start. He's pulled off to cover Leclerc on the inside. All right, here we go. Antonelli went wide. He rejoined, but he's back in P4, so he's looking okay. Clean through turn one. Oh, Antonelli again. He's gone wide and he's lost. He's going to lose. I think he'll lose P4 here, maybe to Max. Hamilton and Leclerc are fighting hard. Hamilton just got in front to P2. So it was a pretty clean start overall. The person that looked the most messy of the lot was Antonelli. He went wide at turn one, went wide at turn three, had to rejoin the track, but he's still holding P4. Okay, Antonelli's. Oh, so Antonelli's done it again. He's gone inside to Charles and he's gone wide off the track, straight over the sausage curb. He's in P3, but he's most likely going to have to get that position back. Oh. So Max has gone on the outside of Kimi's looking to go around the outside, but he backs out of it. I'm telling you, it's pretty hectic. It's a hectic start. It's clean, but it's extremely hectic. Ugh. Well, I think the problem with Antonelli, where did he go? I think the issue with Kimi is that he's gone wide a few times. He went over the sausage curb pretty hard on one of those, and he may have done damage to his car. He just needs to be just a tiny more patient. Bottas, my brakes are on fire. That's been a bit of a Cadillac problem over the last few weekends. All right. Get a little bit of a breather. Can have a look. Lawson up to P8. Very happy with that. Okay, so it looks like Valtteri has gone into the pits. Probably going to retire the car, possibly. Oh yeah, he's smoking up hard. Yeah, that's a day over for Valtteri, unfortunately. Typical Cadillac shenanigans. Yeah, it was, especially with their brakes. It's just been a massive problem for them for over the past few race weekends. I don't know what it is. You'd think it'd be sort of an easy one to fix. It just seems to be like a cooling issue. But maybe it's a bit more technical than that. Oh no, Lawson's talking about fire in his car. Can't see anything though. There's no smoke, nothing. He seems okay. So Hedges made the pass on him, but Lawson then did the old switcheroo on him back down the inside. Now, I'll tell you that gap in Red Bull's wing is humongous, isn't it? So Lawson and Hadjar, they're battling pretty hard through Sector 2. Key is you don't want to be too aggressive in this phase of the race either and just burn your tyres out early. And I think for Lawson, Hadjar isn't the guy you really want to be racing. You want to make sure that you keep a gap on your teammate. He's your main threat. Come on, Liam. Okay, so Perez now complaining about smoke in the cockpit. Cadillac, come on, let's get it together. Yeah, so he's in the pits, and that is Cadillac's day over. All right, so there's race control. Forcing another driver off the track between Bortoleto and Gasly is noted. So we'll see what comes of that. Yeah, everyone's car is on fire. Just gets a little bit too hot, and the cars are just too temperamental for the temps. All right, so it looks like everyone's starting to settle down a little bit out front. Looks like Russell is now out there controlling the pace. So let's see. Let's see what comes of it. Is Hamilton happy to sort of sit back and just maintain a gap? Probably doesn't want to follow too close because of the heat. So probably expect them to sort of sit back maybe a couple of seconds. He's got like about 3 seconds on Max, so you won't want to allow Max to get too close either. But I think the dark horse out of that will be Kimi Antonelli in P5. I don't think he'll be too happy to sort of sit back and just pace it out. If he believes he's quick enough, he'll probably have a crack. Definitely have a crack at Charles, which it looks like he's about to, going into turn 4, I think it is. Oh, Kimi, mate, be patient. Yeah, I mean, oh, mate. Kimi with the speed going into turn 9, goes inside of Charles. Easy. I wonder if Charles, was he just harvesting? And nah, mate, that was massive difference between speed there. Okay, so Hamilton's dropped it back a bit more, 2.5 seconds. Andrea Kimi and Raikkonen. Yeah, he's been pretty feisty, Kimi. I mean, I love it, but at the same time, you sort of think, mate, you've got a pretty decent lead in this championship. He doesn't have to go high risk. He doesn't have to win the race. If he can finish P2 behind Russell, that's a pretty decent result. He's not giving up too many points in the championship, but if he, overcooks it or makes a mistake, 25 points given away. So 8 laps in, they were suggesting pit window for the mediums around lap 18. So not quite halfway there yet based on what their predictions are for the pit window. Now it looks like Verstappen's closing in on Lewis. Leclerc on the radio talking about tyre deg is as expected. So they're talking about the Ferraris potentially have worse tyre deg at this stage, or this early stage of the Grand Prix. And they're talking about maybe the Ferraris need to go with a 3-stop. Hamilton lost a round on that last lap. Oh, he lost around 2.5 tenths to Russell. See, this is also where Max Verstappen is really dangerous. He's coming up behind Lewis Hamilton. Max has nothing to lose as far as the championship is concerned. Probably in his mind, he's thinking, I can't win this year's championship. Whereas for Lewis, there's more pressure on him to, get the result. He feels he is in with a shot of the championship. So it's going to be a nice little battle between these two. Take us back to, 2021? Okay, Lawson watch, Liam Lawson watch P9. Happy with that. in the points. It looks like he's pulled a 2-second lead on Lindblad. They may be playing a bit of a team game because, quite frankly, double points for Racing Bulls is massive. There we go. Verstappen, he's got the move done inside turn 3 on Hamilton. But Lewis comes back at him, round the outside. Oh, big lock-up for Max. I think a rear lock-up. Anyway, good ding-dong battle. Hamilton, Verstappen, turn 6. Verstappen's looking around the outside. Oh, he's in the... Oh, mate. He's in the gravel, but he's all good. He's back in the gravel again. Oh, mate. Roll back the years, boys. So Hamilton won that little battle, but again, we're coming across the start-finish line. I'm pretty sure coming down to turn 4, we'll see another... We'll come down to turn 3, sorry. We'll see another little overtake battle. So Verstappen's on the radio complaining about that's a penalty, or a clear penalty. He wasn't happy with what Hamilton did. I think Hamilton pushed him out a little bit wide. My first glance at it, it didn't look like there was an issue. But if I see a replay, might change my mind. Oh, Verstappen, he's loose on the rear, trying to get the traction down. So at the moment, 11 laps in, Russell starting to check out. He's pulled out to a 5.2 second lead. He's looking pretty pacey, looking pretty comfortable. Oh, here we go. So the first pit, Hamilton is going to trigger. He's coming in, well, I would say pretty early. So let's see if he gets a clean stop. On his marks, wheels on, super quick stop, clean. And hard tyres on. So where does Lewis filter out? P11 and clean air as well, just behind Bortoletto in the Audi. I would expect Bortoletto to be coming into the pit soon as well on those softs. Hamilton was, pretty aggressive on that outlet coming out of the pits. Ferrari pit box ready. Look like Leclerc. Yep, Leclerc's entering the pits as well. He's coming in. So let's see. Hopefully another clean stop. Oh, not as schmick as Hamilton's. 2.7 stop, but still pretty decent. Okay, Gasly in as well. So Leclerc, hards on as well. So Gasly, pretty decent pit stop as well, just a 2.7 stop. And the hards are on as well. Okay, so Verstappen's last lap was a 112.6. Hamilton on those new fresh hards. He's just coming across now for his first proper time lap. A 112.3. So that's a 3/10 gain on that particular lap on Max. Carlos Sainz coming in first of the soft runners to come into the pits, lap 13. Okay, so we've got a Hamilton-Verstappen incident. Turn 6, forcing another driver off the track is noted. So Carlos is going soft to medium. I didn't see the pit lane, or sorry, the pit speed. So I'm hoping it was a quick one. It was a quick stop. Okay, so they're showing the replay potentially of the issue between Lewis and Max. No, it's just a replay of him making the first initial pass. Okay, another replay of the Lewis and Max battle. This is probably the one they're talking about regarding... No, still nothing. They didn't show us. Okay, so yeah, Verstappen's last lap, a 12.7. Hamilton, a 12.7. So he's only matching what Max is doing at the moment. Gonna go and get some ice cream? Oh, mate, that sounds like a good idea. Definitely sounds like a good idea. Mate, Russell cannot be serious, but he's on the radio insinuating that a one stop may be possible. Let's see. Maybe he's playing games, trying to throw maybe some other teams off with some false information. Track temp is still super hot, 51.3. So we're coming into that window of the medium where they suggested around lap 18. So let's see who extends it. I think everyone's probably looking at what Hamilton is doing on the hards. Lewis has finally put in a pretty decent lap. Last one out, a 12.3, so he's a bit quicker than the guys out front, bar Kimi. Kimi's just off. So Hamilton on the radio asking if his pace is okay, and his engineer came back, yep, much better now, faster than Charles. Okay, so it looks like Hamilton's coming up behind Liam Lawson. Liam gives him the inside, nice and clean. He knows that's not the guy he's racing today. Chocolate lemon ice cream. Ah, homemade. You made it yourself. Nice. Chocolate lemon is not a common combo. I'm sure it's nice though. All right, here we go. So this is a big one. Max Verstappen in the pits. All right, into his box, hits his marks, super clean stop at 2.4 seconds. Excellent. Now, where does he filter out? So Lewis is coming down, Starting crossing. Oh, mate. No, Hamilton's got a nice jump here. It's not too bad, though. Couple of seconds. Okay, Hadger came in as well. Lindblad's come in. Very quick stop for Lindblad, 2.2 seconds. Ocon now in the pits. Albon's in the pits. So they were right regarding the lap 18 pit stop window regarding the medium tyre. Albon, pretty decent stop, 2.6. Ocon, 2.8. Russell finally getting the box call. And he's just entering the pits now. So, all eyes on George Russell, that it's a clean one. Piastri's being told to box. Russell, clean stop, 2.3. So, super tidy. Where have we got? Piastri. Piastri's in the pits. Clean stop as well. Hards go. Oh, no, actually, it wasn't that clean. 3.3. Little on the slow side. All right, Liam's in. Don't disappoint me, RB pit crew. Racing Bulls, get the job done. Looking at the timer for Liam. 2.9. Man, I tell you, not good enough. Now, will he feed out in front of Lindblad? I think he had a few seconds on Arvid. So Norris has been told he's going to stay out a bit longer in the clear air, and Norris, in Norris style, I have no more pace to give. This is basically it. Yep, so there you go, Lawson. What is going on with the timer here? It's going a bit crazy. I thought he dropped behind Lindblad and Behrman, but it seems to be he is out front just. No? Okay, it's chopping and changing quite a bit there. I'll also actually ride on board with Liam as well. Yeah, McLaren doing Ferrari tactics. Possibly. Bit of a strange one. But you never know. Maybe the gamble pays off a bit. So generally speaking, very similar race or pit strategies from tyre compound for most of the teams. Only really Sainz and Bortoletto going different. Although Ocon, he's gone medium to medium. Albon's gone medium to medium. Where the rest, medium to hards. Norris has just peeled off into the pits. Oh, Lindblad. Oh, that was close between Lindblad and Lawson. Very close. Okay, Lando, not the quickest. 3-second pit stop. That's, McLaren not on their best form. Oh, late lunge by Verstappen. Mate, big one. Pushing hard down to turn 4. Hamilton back down the inside. And, he's having another go at him down the inside. Oh, he chopped across a bit there on Hamilton in turn 6. Hamilton definitely won't be happy with that. He'll no doubt be on the radio. I don't think there was anything wrong with it. It was just great aggressive racing, but it definitely did look like he pushed him out a bit. So Antonelli going quite long. And what's his pace like? His pace, look, his last lap was a 13.9. Russell 11.4. Okay, Lando, he's gone very wide turn one, struggling a bit. So the race is setting up quite nicely, actually. I mean, Russell, at this point, he's definitely got the race under control, but the fight for the rest of the positions should be quite good. Okay, so it looks like Verstappen has a bit more pace over Hamilton at the moment, pulling a bit of a lead. Does have a slightly fresher set of hards on. So, drivers that haven't pitted yet, we're looking at Kimi out front, 23 laps on the mediums. Ollie Behrman, P13 on the mediums. And Alonso and Stroll running long as well have made their pit stop. Oh, we have an issue. That is a Williams parked up. Here we go. So immediately in comes Kimi Antonelli. Will he get the virtual safety car bonus? 3-second pit stop for Antonelli. Now, signs he's pulled over right at the start-finish line. Surely, virtual safety car, there it is. Here we go, VSC. So, Behrman is... I don't know why they pulled... Was it the right move to bring Antonelli in straight away? Should he have waited... They should have waited perhaps one more lap for Kimi. Maybe missed a bit of a trick there, Mercedes, with Kimi. So this is going to play quite a bit into Ollie Behrman's hands. Gets to get his first stop, get rid of the mediums under the VSC. So that is a bit of a bonus. Going to save a bit of time on that one. And also you would expect the Aston Martins. Yep, Alonso's starting to come in now. And I'm pretty sure Stroll will follow suit. I think there's a bit of a gap, about a 6-second gap between the two. So they should be able to get that all sorted. So Lewis, they did tell him to box, but it was too late. Just too late. So Lewis has come into the pits now, next lap after. 2.2 second. Mate, Ferrari are on fire with their pit stops as far as efficiency. Another quick stop. So Hamilton's second stop, getting the cheaper one under the VSC. They've thrown the soft on it. So definitely going 3-stopper. I expect him to be pretty aggressive on this stint. Although he'd still be carrying quite a fair bit of fuel going onto the soft so early. So we'll see. Let's see what his pace is like. Okay, they're just pushing Carlos's car in the pit lane now. VSE should be over pretty soon. VSC ending. So Kimi's complaining about his brakes to Bono. He has no confidence. Bono has just said him that he has a brake split. So basically one side is hotter than the other. Okay, interesting. Particularly from Ferrari's standpoint, Lewis Hamilton, does this change things up, getting that cheap pit stop in? Definitely going for the 3-stopper. He's not going to tire whisper these softs all the way to the end. Surely not. So, very interested to see Hamilton's pace on these softs. Also depends. Hadjar will play the team game, no doubt, for Red Bull to help protect Verstappen. So I would not expect Hadjar to give up that position to Hamilton very, very easily. So I'd like to see Kimi Antonelli stop again. He may have got a little bit of a benefit on the pit exit when the VSC was called, but yeah, it looks like they just needed to be maybe a bit more patient, come around for the next lap, and then he would have got the full cheap stop. Okay, interested in Hamilton coming up to Hadjar. I'm going to ride on board with Lewis and let's have a look. Okay, Verstappen's pushing hard. He's gone purple for the best lap. 4.6 off the pace of George. He's looking pretty good. So Antonelli just needs to be a little bit patient here. He's getting on the gearbox of Charles Leclerc up at turn 2. Should get a good run down to turn 4. Should possibly get the move done. He's going down the inside. No, he's backed out of it. Now, is that the confidence on the brakes? Because he has been complaining that he's not super happy on the brakes. Okay, so Lewis is coming up slowly onto Hadjar's gearbox. Still about half a second in it. But I definitely expect Hadjar to make things very difficult for Lewis, especially the way the strategies are panning out. Hadjar will be wanting to make sure that he is wide as possible, wanting Hamilton to be quite aggressive, maybe eat out those softs or at least degrade the life of them. Okay, Hamilton, he's looking around the outside. No, not going to happen. Okay, Kimi's got the move done down into turn 4 on Charles. Okay. Oh, Hadjar is fighting him. Hadjar's finding Lewis down into turn 6. But Hamilton's got the job done. Okay, so Hadjar is still sticking with Lewis. But I don't think he's got really anything in the tank. You'd expect Hamilton to get off the corners pretty quick on those softs. And that's always the key, right? Turn 1, turn 3, just getting a good exit. Stroll incident. Where's the Stroll incident? I haven't seen it. Okay, incident involving Stroll, yellow flag infringement noted. Unfortunately, it's sort of the only way Lance stamps his mark on a race, isn't it? In that green tractor is getting up to no good, get into some mischief. So the Albon incident, yellow flag infringement as well. That's been noted. So Russell maintaining a 4-second gap over Max. At the moment, between those two drivers, their strategies are basically bang on. Russell 1 lap longer on those mediums, so he's got a 1 lap fresher hard, which I don't think is going to make too much difference. Okay, so Hamilton is being told to change, I'm assuming, probably engine mode due to temperature. So TS mode. Not sure what that exactly means, but I'm assuming it's something to do with the power unit. Okay, no further investigation for Lance. The man survives. No punishment. Ferrari shenanigans, Peter, yeah. Let's have a look at Lamilton. Lewis Lamilton. Lewis Hamilton, Sir Lewis. How's his pace at the moment? 11.59 last lap. Not super quick. 9 laps into the stint on the soft tyre. I don't think it was a fresh that he put on. It was already had about 3 laps on it. Oscar, the running on board with Oscar. Come on, mate. It's been a bit quiet. We haven't seen too much of the McLarens besides, they've had a few slow pit stops for, well, not super slow, but around a 3-second pit stop for both Oscar and Lando. Not as efficient as they normally are, but it feels like Piastri, he's in a bit of a battle with Leclerc. He's not too far behind. Now he's on a 6-lap fresher hard than Leclerc. Hamilton asking if the car has cooled down, and his engineers basically said a mode race. So I'm assuming that just means that there will be times where they're going to have to change modes and settings most likely due to temperature. So Max has pulled in. He's taken a little bit off Russell's gap. So 3.6, 3.7. Down a little bit. I've got a message from my mate who's a big Lamilton. Why do I keep saying Lamilton? Hamilton fan. And I can see it on my WhatsApp, and all it is and then a picture of the goat. Is Lewis Hamilton the GOAT? Chat, let me know. Is he the greatest of all time? Always makes for a good debate. Okay, so Piastri he's getting a bit closer into Charles, but the interesting thing is Hamilton is also getting in on that fight as well. So, bit of a Ferrari sandwich coming up for Oscar Piastri. My favourite Lamington fan. Nope, it's Schumacher. Just how you've put down the marker. Michael Schumacher is the GOAT. I'll give you my take. My not so expert opinion. For me personally, the whole GOAT debate is, I know the acronym is greatest of all time, but I'm like, a lot of farmers have a herd of goats. So I like to say you can have multiple GOATs. And I think it's very hard to judge different drivers over different eras. So for me, Hamilton is one of the greats. Alongside guys like Shuey, Verstappen. You know, if you look further back, like Jimmy Clark, those type of guys. Senna, of course, Prost. There's been plenty of absolute superstar drivers. And it's just, for me, it's just too hard to compare them on eras. But it always makes a fun debate. Whether it's tennis, you know, you've got the Djokovic, Federer, Nadal fans, and, you know, even a bit further back, I remember when Sampras was head and shoulders above everybody and they all thought no one's going to beat his statistics regarding Grand Slams. Basketball right now, the big one is naturally it's LeBron James and Michael Jordan. Big debates. Okay, so there we go. So a bit of traffic. Russell has lost his gap. It's down to 2.3. Piastri putting the move on Charles. Hamilton. Ooh, now Hamilton's in the mix. Now, I would say if you're Charles, you're probably not going to race. Would you race Hamilton super hard? Because it looks like you're on different strategies. Well, let's see. How hard is Charles is fighting? He's got the inside around turn 6. He's not giving it up easy, but Hamilton goes around the outside. On the soft tyres, got to get that type of move done, and he has. And Charles straight into the pits, but I think he may have a little bit of front wing damage. Okay, let's see what Charlie Boy can do in the pits. Ferrari have been really efficient with quick pit stops so far this race. Looks the same, under 3 seconds, no doubt. A 2 point. Give us a number. Give us a number. Was 21 seconds in the pit lane. 2.1 second stop. Beautiful. Of this era, 2020-26, it's Max, 10 to 20, 21, Hamilton, 2000 to 2010, it's got to be Shuey. Obviously, an Alonso fan might get in the mix there with his 2005-2006 World Championships. All right, Verstappen under 2 seconds. All right, Alex Albon, he's coming to the pits. He's definitely going to change his compound. He's done 2 stints on the medium so far, and he has decided to go on the softs. They haven't given us the overlay of the pit stop for Alex, though, so I can't give you those numbers. Hamilton back on the radio, engineer just telling him we need to get Piastri. I know you're trying. So just a bit of encouragement there. Gasly into the pits now. He's just done the 25 laps on the hards. Let's see what he goes for. Okay, 1.3 on the gap, Verstappen. 0.4 quicker on the last lap. Albon yellow flag infringement. That is going to be investigated after the race. Okay, see what Lewis can do. It looks like Piastri's pulling away a little bit. Yeah, the GOAT debate. Hamilton, Schumacher. Yeah, it's hard because the eras are very different. You know, you can argue statistically on race wins, championships, well, race wins, like Lewis Hamilton for sure. But I don't think statistics always tell the full story. There's so many variables. And that's why I just prefer to have a goat that is in a herd of goats, like a goat farmer. Okay, naturally, I'm very interested with what Liam Lawson can do. He's in P10. Lindblad is slightly quicker. They're still pretty close. I would say the pit stop, it was a bit of a slow pit stop for Liam. He had a 2.9 second pit stop. Lindblad, I think, got a pretty quick one with a 2.1. But they're very evenly matched. So hopefully they can hold the double points position because the 2 Audis, well, 1 Audi at least, Bortoletto, is not too far off. Will we see Max Verstappen's first win of the season? Red Bull home race. They've bought the upgrades. The thing is, with Max, if he gets a sniff on George Russell for the win, Russell has the most to lose. So if Max wants to get really aggressive and feed George to the outside, if you're George Russell, you let him do it. You just back off. Because the key for George is just staying in front of Kimi Antonelli. He can't afford to get into a tangle with Max, ruin his race. Okay, Piastri is being told to box. Now, I was about to say, I missed Carlos going into the pits, but he had an issue, didn't he? So apparently on the telemetry, he hasn't officially retired. Okay, Piastri into the pits. Hamilton coming back in. Okay, Piastri's stop looked pretty clean, 2.3 seconds. And Hamilton, 2.2 second stop. So Ferrari pit crew, again, nice quick stops. What do we got here as far as compounds? Hamilton has gone from softs on to, I would assume, would it be mediums this point to the end? Piastri is on hards and Lewis is on hards. Okay, Alonso incident, ignoring blue flags. I wonder who he was being a pain in the ass for. Was it for Hamilton? Russell in, clean stop by the Mercedes crew, 2.3. Tidy. It's all getting a bit frantic now. Okay, Russell out in front of Lando Norris, so exactly what he needed to do. Okay, Charles just put in the fastest lap, 110.916. Now, looking at the laps between Verstappen and Russell, that's for P1, very important to see what they can do. How much longer will Verstappen stay up for? Okay, Piastri's gone personal bests. Fastest lap as well. Okay, so Stroll also has been noted for ignoring blue flags. Okay, sorry. 5-second time penalty for Alonso, which was speeding in pit lane. Naughty boy Fernando should know better. I think, what does he get? Like €100 fine? Okay, sounds like Russell's on the radio wanting Kimi to essentially be the rear gunner for him. All right, just missed it. Liam Lawson, he's in the pits. What's Lindblad doing? Lindblad has stayed out. So come on, give Lawson a good stop. Quick. Look quick. Look schmick. 2.4 seconds, not a bad one. Hulkenberg coming in from P11 as well. Okay, Bortoleto pitted a lap earlier, which I missed. All right, interesting. Lawson's going for a medium here. And Gasly's gone medium as well, but he's already got 7 laps on the board with it. Now, I'm assuming Liam's going to the end on a medium, which seems, I don't know, he's He's had a few races over his short career where he has been a bit of a tyre whisperer and done really well keeping the tyre in check. So hopefully he can do it again. His teammate is coming into the pits now, so I'm intrigued to see what tyre they put on for Lindblad. Okay, Lindblad on the medium as well. Okay, Lawson, yes, he cleared Lindblad. And where is Lawson in relation to Hadjar? I think that'll update soon. All right, so Piastri back on the gearbox of Charles. Boxer Ridge tyre the car for Stroll. Yeah, it looks like it. I think it just may be, right? He's in the pit. I haven't seen anything regarding what he's doing, but it seems like he's looks to be his day is over. All right, this is really interesting with what Red Bull are doing, running Verstappen long, hoping for quite a big, noticeable tyre offset into the final stint. We've got a replay of Lando Norris coming into the pits. Oh, probably not the best release. Colapinto was basically side by side. All right, so Antonelli 1 second behind Max. Verstappen's on the radio. My tyres are dead. Surely they're going to bring him in. Yeah. Yeah, I think they may have run Max just a bit too long because the last few laps were far too slow. All right, Maxi boy, quick pit stop. Got to be on point. Yeah, it's in the twos, no doubt. 2.2, good stop. All right, Bono's on the radio to Kimi. Okay, Kimi, let's go. Maintain focus, let's go. So giving Antonelli just a bit of a tap on the shoulder, up the pace while you're out in front and clean air. Still running a long stint on those hards. He's 25 laps in. So the issue here is when you're looking at Russell and Verstappen, do you think a 7-lap offset for Verstappen is going to be massively in his favour on a hard to bring this home? Because he seemed to have lost a lot of time to Russell. I don't know if it was the right call to keep him out there as long as they did. Yep, Stroll's officially retired. Yeah, not that it means anything to Stroll. Yeah, Lance, he just sort of goes through the motions, doesn't he? I wouldn't say he has the best attitude for a Formula One driver. I'm sure in the post-race interview, someone will ask him a very generic question and he'll give a very generic answer. Okay, Kimi has been told to box from P1. So where does Kimi filter out? Realistically, he should come out just in front of Piastri in P4. I think it's around a 20, we'll be pretty close. I think it's around a 21-second time loss through the pits. 21.5 time loss, but that's coming out of pit lane. He's got to get around just in front of Piastri. Okay, actually, yes, just in front of Piastri. Okay, Hamilton making the move on Charles into P5. Ten-second gap for Max Verstappen. Just under oh, hey, VSC. What do we got here? Okay, so there's a bit of debris on the track. I think it's going to be pretty quick. Marshall's gone to pick it up. And Alex Albon, I think he got a 10-second penalty. Okay, so Albon cut turn 3 massively and basically murdered the bollard on the inside, flicked it back onto the track. That's the cause for the VSC. I think maybe Gasly, well, he's pitting out, so maybe Gasly got a little bit of an advantage there. But as far as strategy goes, not too much has changed. I did see something about Albon getting a 10-second penalty, though. Not sure. Well, Max he's eating into George pretty quickly. He's down to 9 seconds now. What do you think, chat? Has Max Verstappen got the pace? Has he got enough tyre offset to make a big difference regarding, well, George Russell? It's a 6 or 7 lap tyre deficit. He is chomping into the lead pretty quickly. Has he got enough laps? Do the tyres hold on? Same with George. How, has he got tyre life left? All right, how's my boy going? Liam Lawson, P9, very happy. He's got, just over a second lead on Arvid Lindblad. Hopefully he can hold on to that. I'll take a P9 for Liam. And very happy if Lindblad can pull up 10 too, so it would be good double points, which is really important. I mean, look, it's not a massive haul of points, but going up against, what do we got? 3 points there between them. Not too bad in that constructors battle for P5, which they're battling hard with Alpine. Okay, so Antonelli, fastest lap, 10.4. 8.6 seconds. 16 laps to go. I think the gap's a little bit too big. Just a bit too big. He did it once, he'll do it again. I'm assuming you're talking about Max Verstappen with a big charge home to win a race. He's got nothing to lose. Like Max is a gun. Like let's be honest, he's just one of the best ever to do it. So you don't really want to bet against him. But I just have a feeling it may be just a little too far. But I'd love to see it. I'd love to see Max get a win here. It's just, it'll be awesome for obviously Red Bull as well, considering the upgrades that they bought. Bit of justification for all the upgrades. Home race. And also, if you are a Max Verstappen fan and you want to see him remain at Red Bull, well, I think one of the big conditions that Max Verstappen would love to see is progression, right, over the season. That when they do bring upgrades, they can eke out even more performance. Oh, Hadjar on Charles Leclerc. But I think Charles has to run down into turn 4 on the inside. Both lock up. Leclerc goes too deep. Hadjar gets a run into turn 6. So, yeah. Leclerc he just looks like he's driving a little tentatively. Like he just doesn't seem to be quite locked in like he normally is. He's on the radio. These tyres are ... So either the F word or S word. Coulthard's laughing. I don't think he said that they're gone. Not at all. But yeah, he's not happy out there. All right, we've got a pit lane infringement. No further investigation. That is for Lando Norris. Good news for the defending champion. Okay, Verstappen down to 7.5 seconds. Okay, how's Liam going? What do we got here with Liam? Come on, Liam. All right, chat. I know it's not like a huge audience like some other channels, but if you do give us a like, or if you can promote the channel with a like, that would be really awesome. If you do like what we're doing, sub would be nice too, mate. A sub would be really nice. We are trying to push the channel up to 1,000 subs by the end of the season. So a lot of work to do. Feel a little bit like the Williams car. A lot of work to do. And probably sometime on Monday, Tuesday, have the review out for the race. So look out for that as well. I think Mick will be back. He's the co-host. But he is currently, he is in Belgium at the Spa 24-hour race this weekend. So he is enjoying himself in the hot European weather, watching some GT cars, tin tops, flying around Spa. Lucky for some. Coming down to 6.5 seconds. I don't know, mate. I don't know if there's enough laps to go. All right, Lando. Is he going to make a move? Turn 1? No. But Lando down the inside at turn 3 gets it done. Maybe a switcheroo for Charles Leclerc, but I don't think so. Lando is on quite fresher tyres, should get a bit more traction out of the corner, although... Yep, Lando looks good going into turn 6. Move is done. Well, so far it's not been the most productive weekend for Charles Leclerc. This is a big weekend for him. He, really did need to get the performance over Lewis, because we all know where we go next week. Silverstone, Lewis will again be very hard to beat there. .8, the gap. I mean, look, he is getting that gap down pretty quickly, but it's like every time I look up and look at how many laps are left, it's like, ugh, it's getting tight, very tight. So Leclerc has come in, he's put on a set of softs. It was basically a all or nothing pit stop. It doesn't really make too much difference for him. There was absolutely nothing to lose to take it. But he felt he was really struggling out on those hards. So Leclerc, maybe a little bit of a confidence boost. Go for the fastest lap, but unfortunately no single point for that this year. Yeah, so they're saying at current positions, Russell with the 25 points, Antonelli with 15. Russell will get the gap down to, I think, 40 points. Okay, 11 lefts. We're getting close to 5 seconds on that gap. Now, is there a bit of a sting in the tail for the Austrian Grand Prix? Is there going to be another case of reliability issues for some car, or someone make a mistake, brings out a safety car, maybe a VSC? There may be something more to come. It may not be so straightforward these last 10 laps. Now, regarding the Racing Bulls, it's been a pretty decent day so far. Naturally, they qualified very well in the top 10, but their race pace has been pretty good, because it was a bit of an issue for them out in Barcelona last time. One-off race pace was good in qualifying, and then, one-off qualifying pace, lap pace was good, and then the race pace was where they really struggled last time out in Barcelona, but it seems to be that they've definitely figured that out. Permain did make a comment on, I think, Friday, regarding some of the long run simulations, that they were really happy with the long runs. Okay, so Lawson has let Verstappen through, nice and clean, down at turn 3. His old teammate. Unfortunately, at the moment, I don't think he is. He's not cutting into this gap quick enough for Verstappen. I mean, the other thing too is maybe Russell was just taking it a little bit easier over the last 10 laps, knowing he had quite a big gap on Max, but perhaps saving the tyres, knowing that he had that 7-lap offset. So let's see if maybe as it gets closer to the gap, you might start seeing the gap basically stay the same, and then Russell starts picking up the pace. So inter-team battles that are very important. That is, I'm looking at Ollie Behrman and Esteban Ocon. Behrman's had a pretty clean race. If I remember, though, he did get the advantage of a VSC pit stop off the top of my head. But otherwise, not eventful for Haas. Alpine's probably been a little disappointing, their race pace. I thought there may have been a little bit more in it for them, but clearly hasn't been. And Audi, well, one bonus is so far so good reliability-wise, but looks like they're going to miss out on points again, maybe just on the outside. So I wonder between Lawson and Lindblad whether the team has given them the command of basically hold stations. I would not want to be Permain if, say, Arvid makes a big move to try and get one up on Liam. They come together and then they both have a DNF outside of a double points finish. All right, so Max 4.1. Okay, so last lap for Russell was at 11.5 and Verstappen 11 flat. So a pretty decent chunk. I don't know, I'd be a bit more confident in a Max Verstappen victory if it was around 2.5 seconds right now, the gap. But 4 just feels a bit too far. Okay. $3.6. So 11.6 for George last lap, 11.1 for Max, 3.6. You know, maybe a lap car gets in the mix, holds up Russell a bit. Just looking at the track map. Where is Russell? He's pretty clean. Well, you've got old boy Fernando Alonso to get past. Does Fernando give his mate Max an opportunity? So P4, the fight for P4, Piastri and Lewis Hamilton, both on the same tyre life, 24 laps into the stint. About 4 seconds on the gap. I think if Piastri pulls a P4 here, he'd be pretty happy with that. It wouldn't be a bad result. Yeah, and let's not forget Kimi Antonelli too. He's closing up. It has been a good race. It's been a pretty entertaining race. There's been plenty going on. And it's cool. Like one of the best things about having a race where you do get multiple pit stops is you do get at least, a bit of a strategy battle on top of it. There were a lot of races last year where we just did the one stopper and most of the teams just went sort of the same strategy. And it was just basically like not a lot of differential between any of the strategies. All right, so Russell is not too far around Fernando. Does Fernando Is Fernando a menace? Does he become a problem? Does he want to make things slightly difficult for Russell? Look, I won't lie. If Fernando does become a little bit of a menace, helps Max close up, we are going to have one hell of a finish. .6, 2 left. Now, Kimi is getting close to the 1 second gap on Max. Kimi needs to be very careful here. Damage limitation. Don't do anything super risky trying to take P2. Alonso has not jumped out of the way, and we're going into turn 6. This is not where you want to find traffic. Alonso, he ain't moving. Oh, there we go. Russell's made the move on him going into turn 9. Now, the thing is, does old Alonso give Max a nice toe down the main straight? So Antonelli's got overtake mode on Max, but I would say Max is getting a pretty decent toe from Fernando. I would say at this point, like Fernando's probably helped Max quite a bit. Oh, here we go. This could be the moment for Antonelli coming down into turn 4. No chance there. Ooh, Max is wide in turn 6. He's okay though. So George coming around, controlled the race really well. It was a good win for George, exactly what he needed to with regards to the championship. Has Antonelli got the gas? No. So there we go, close finish. Verstappen second, Antonelli third. All right, what's going on between... Okay, Liam, happy with the P9, very happy with that. Double points for Racing Bulls, Lindblad taking the final point and 10. I must admit, Piastri, that's a good result. P4 in front of Lewis Hamilton, P5. Yeah, really good effort for Max. I'm happy he got a podium. It's a shame because perhaps if they just boxed him 1 or 2 laps earlier, he probably would have had a chance for a win. But that is a big pressure reliever for George. It's exactly what he needed. But for Kimi Antonelli, it's a good result. I think a P3 starting from P4 showed good pace as well. Be happy, not far off George in the end there, but solid points. Gave away 10 points to Russell. Russell picking up the 25 points for the win. Antonelli 15 points in P3. So damage limitation in that aspect, and that's exactly what you need to do. If your teammate is going to get the result over you when you're fighting for a championship, you want to be basically next in line or as close as possible. Kimi has done that because it could have been a bit of a banana skin. But very impressed with Oscar. I'm very interested to see, I need to look back with Hamilton and Piastri. How did Piastri manage to stay P4? Because when you're looking at pace, it just seemed like Hamilton sort of had the edge. So I guess the 3 pit stop, maybe it just wasn't the way to go. Leclerc went 3 pit stops as well, and Gasly 2. Basically, everyone else just went with a 2-stopper. So just how, Max fan, you must be pretty happy with that. It's good for Max and good for Red Bull too, because there was pace in that car, definitely this weekend. They did the typical Red Bull thing, right? Friday, tough start to the week. They always seem to be like out of the box, not quite where they need to be. Saturday, they find, I don't know, it must be the work in the sim over Friday night. They finally get the car sort of in the right window, and then Max can deliver. Hadjar P6 in the end. I don't know. I don't know if you'll be that happy with that result, considering Max had a lot of pace for P2. Audi will be pretty happy. Yes, no points. That aspect they'll be pretty peed off about, but reliability, pretty decent pace. Bortoletto, Hulkenberg, just outside 11 and 12. I would say the biggest disappointment, well, Norris was a bit disappointing, P7. I thought there was a lot more pace in the McLaren. And I think Alpine just didn't really hook it up. Gasly looked pretty good over some of the practice sessions, just missed out in eliminated in Q2, P11. So he was there or thereabouts, and just it seems to be that their strategy, look, he went with the 3-stop as well. And perhaps it just, that wasn't the right way to go about it. Maybe the race pace of the Alpine wasn't so good. Bit of an opposite of what we saw in Barcelona, where their one-off qualifying pace wasn't great, but race pace was on point. So Max and Kimi having a pretty big chat. I think even Antonelli, this is the thing with Kimi, if he had another couple of laps too, he would have been definitely in the mix. He was extremely quick on that final stint. Also took best lap of the day with a 1:10.374. All right, well, I think that will wrap it up. Thanks again for joining the live watch along. And in fact, I think that's the first race live watch along we've actually done. Normally we just do qualifying. So I thought it went okay. You can leave a comment if you thought it went okay. If it was really bad, it's okay. Water off a duck's back, mate, if I get any bad comments. You can roast me. Roast it. Just How, appreciate all the comments. You have a massive chat feed there, but I appreciate it, mate. It does, it helps me out a lot without having Mick here. Gives me something to look at and then talk about. MMT, what did I miss? Late to the race. You're late to the party. Well, you missed a pretty decent Austrian Grand Prix. Russell with the win. Verstappen not too far behind, 1.6 a gap in P2. Antonelli, P3, 1.9%, 1.9 seconds behind Russell. They got pretty exciting in the end. And I know you're a Liam Lawson fan and an Oscar Piastri fan as well. So Oscar Piastri, good result with P4. And Liam in the points yet again, P9. So another good race result for the boys from Down Under. So very happy with that. But yeah, I think you needed to set your alarm. You fell asleep too early, no doubt. We'll need to watch the race and catch up. MMT. Yep. On to the highlights or a race replay. But it was a good race. Austria does provide good racing. We love the Austrian Grand Prix. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks again. Look out for the race review. No doubt we will record that tomorrow. If I get the editing done very quickly, I'll have that out tomorrow evening European time, just to be clear. If not, it'll be out on Tuesday. Yes, spot on for the alarm, MMT. That's what you got to do. You should never be missing a live race. It doesn't matter where you're from. Call yourself an F1 fan and miss the race. All right, that's enough for me. Enough blabbering. I am going to kill the stream. Have fun if you're still watching. Podium should be good. I'm sure the cool-down room, there'll be plenty of discussion between the top three. I am going to try and find my stop streaming button. Here, I found it. Catch ya on the next one. Enjoy. See you later. Ciao, ciao. Guten Abend.